Shady McCoy, I don't know why you saxophone.
Oh, this is live? Oh, I was doing my selfie.
He loves this song.
Wait.
We play it every day.
I know,
but you normally tap me when it's about to go live. You tap me to get off this.
Shady, you've been doing the show for a year.
Hey, don't kill me, yo. I was on my selfies.
My dog Shady McCoy. Then let me start with you, big dog. Shady, the deal's not done yet. T wants a new deal. Jamar Chase wants a new deal. The Bengals don't want to let go of either of them. So, Shady, you have been in situations where you've been the highest paid. Going to you first. Is it a big deal that they're absent at OTAs?
Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? I do get that money.
Why are you whispering when you said that?
I like when he says it. You know what I mean? The highest paid. Yeah, that was me. You know what's crazy, though? I normally would say it's not a big deal. I mean, everyone wants to save money, right? It's OTAs, off season, right? You know, guys are just getting back. And, you know, eventually we'll work the deal out. But when I start thinking about it, like, hold on. Joe Burrow's been hurt a lot lately. He's just getting back. He's just finally cleared with no restrictions to do all the OTAs, reps and all that, and practice and et cetera. And normally, like, the quarterbacks need to build their wide receivers, but they know each other, so it's not a big deal. But when your quarterback been hurt, he hasn't been playing, and then your wide receivers, right, who hasn't been playing with you lately, they want to get back reacquainted with you a little bit, and then both, not one, but both it's out trying to get paid? Yeah, that's a problem, because now Joe Burrow is throwing to the third receiver, the fourth receiver, the fifth receiver. Right? And your third receiver, he just really left. Tyler Boyd, he's now with Tennessee. So you throwing to all new dudes, it sound like. Wait, the running back, Joe Mixon was, oh, wait, he is going. Hell yeah, it's a big deal. And the question is, who you gonna pay? Because he should pay Jamar Chase for sure, right?
Will pay Jamar Chase.
And they would get there, but when would that happen? Probably in camp, right? So you miss all that time. And then Tee Higgins, he ain't no slouch.
Not at all.
He a dog.
A dog.
So it's a big deal to me, man. And the last point is you play in the AFC East.
North.
North. Steelers, Ravens.
Toughest division.
Man, look, y'all know what it is. Yes, it's a big deal. You play in the best football division. So if you ask me, man, they got to do something.
James Jones, resident wide receiver on the desk. When talking wide receivers, nobody better on national television to talk to than the person who led the league in receiving touchdowns in 2012. You know everything about the wide receiver position and trying to get that paper. Big deal, no deal that these two are absent at OTAs.
Ching, ching.
Man, this is a big deal. And usually we're talking about one dude. You know, running back hold out, receiver hold out, tight end hold out, whatever. We're talking both of your star receivers on the team, which means you don't got no offense if these two dudes are not at the X and the Z. You have no offense. And then Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill got 4 years, 120. It's new day and age, boss. I need a little bit more than that because I done showed y'all I'm like that too. So they got to pay him, and they got to pay him first. You know Nico Collins from the Houston Texans, right?
He is.
Who you want, Nico or you want Tee Higgins?
I want Tee Higgins.
Nico Collins just signed 3 years, 73 M's.
They gave him that?
They gave him that, Shady. They gave him that.
Hey, hold on. Shout out to Collins.
Yeah,
I respect
shout out.
But it's like, I mean,
shout out to Nico. But you know who else is seeing that besides me on TV?
Tee Higgins.
Tee Higgins.
And the agent.
You know what, man? I'm going to need a little bit more than that. I don't know how you get both of them done. One of them is going to be lining up at the Z unhappy. One of them is going to be lining up at the X unhappy. And that ain't necessarily good when you are trying to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who they have gotten better. When you're trying to beat Lamar Jackson, who they have gotten better. This is not good. It's not good for Joe Burrow. You know what this means for Joe Burrow? Dang, my timing ain't there with the receivers. If these two dudes are not in the football game, you know what that means? I got to hold this ball a little bit longer. Might get hit a little bit more. Ooh, I got to make some plays with my feet. Might get hit a little bit more. It is not good. Both these dudes got to be on the Cincinnati Bengals roster, breaking that huddle at the X and the Z, and they both got to be happy, and I don't know if that's going to happen, and that is why it is a big, big concern.
You know why else is not a good deal, Joy, though? It's also not a good deal. It's a big deal, and it's not a good deal because you almost wasting your OTAs right now.
I'm about to say that,
You're wasting time. Like OTAs, for those at home that do not necessarily know, especially the latter half of OTAs, the offense can't necessarily go against people with the heartbeat, right? So the offense will go, they'll put trash cans on the football field and they will run their routes against different trash cans. Then there comes a point in OTAs where you can finally start going against the defense. And so you go against the defense. You will not be padded yet. So at this point in time, everything is timing-based. Everything is timing-based. But throwing the ball to Jermaine Burton, the third-round pick out of Alabama, is different than throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. Throwing the ball to Trent Irwin, I believe he was drafted 5 years ago, played a little bit for the 49ers, is different than throwing the ball to Tee Higgins. Right. So to some degree, you're really wasting your time because the other dilemma is you got all these cats getting reps, And they're not going to end up playing.
Nope.
I remember Michael Kendricks, linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, winning Super Bowl champ. He was in a contract dispute. So I ended up taking up all the reps. It was the 2014 offseason. I'm thinking to myself, Mike, I'm not going to be playing.
Yeah.
So you got me out here making all these calls to Fletcher Cox, to Connor Barwin, to Trent Cole. I'm making all these calls. I'm not going to be the one actually making the calls. No doubt about it. I'm not really going to be making these calls. So I might see a check and make the check, but Mike, you're not going to make the same check. So I just wasted Fletcher's time, Connor's time, Trent's time, Benny Logan's time. I just wasted everybody's time because, Mike, you're not going to see the game how I see the game. So OTAs were just undermined in entirety. So it is a huge deal in my mind. Joy, where do you stand? Big deal, no deal?
Yeah, it's a big problem. I mean, this is a problem we knew they were going to have. So
At the same time, though?
Yeah, same time.
I was surprised.
I mean, they knew that this was now they could have paid one earlier or prepared in some ways for this, but we knew that they were going to have problems paying everybody. They have a very talented roster, and they were going to lose some. This was the conversation. This always is the conversation. But when you have a rookie quarterback with a talented roster, how can you get it done and win a championship before you have to start paying everybody? Because this is a profession, and people want to be paid for the work that they do. And they deserve it. So all that is true. And the other part is you got a salary cap. Yeah. So you do have to find ways to either let people go, keep people, move contracts around, and the other problem is the franchise tag. So Tee Higgins has a $21.8 million franchise tag. It's not signed. He has until July 15th to sign a long-term deal, or he has to play on the franchise tag. So that's the option. So for Tee Higgins, it is like clock is ticking. Because once you hit July 15th, it doesn't matter. Remember this happened with Saquon. Yep. You cannot give him a long-term deal once you hit that deadline. Then do you play on the franchise tag, or you're sitting out for no reason? Because you are going to play on the franchise tag past that point if they don't give you a long-term deal. Then you have Jamar Chase, who they are obviously going to pay. That is the other issue in this. Who do you pay? Everyone says Jamar Chase. Yeah. Of course. You would like to keep Tee Higgins and Jamar Chase, but if you have to choose, you are going to choose Jamar Chase. Well, Jamar has been given the extension for 2025. He's extension eligible and can sign a long-term deal at any point. So they're trying to find a way to get through this moment with Tee Higgins on the field and Jamar Chase, and that Jamar Chase's holdout doesn't go through camp because he's really the one that can still move. Once you hit July 15th, Tee Higgins is playing on the franchise tag. That's how it works. So they're in a pickle. Like, they've got to figure out a way to get the reps that you guys are talking about, to get on the same page with him. You've got Trenton Irwin that you mentioned. He's going into his 6th year. Jermaine Burton is a rookie. They have 2 other rookies, two second-year players. Anybody trying to hear all that when you're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals playing in the AFC North, a team that we expect to be competing for a championship, and they should be, based off the fact that they have one of the top 3, top 4 quarterbacks in the league.
And then go ahead.
No, it's just funny because I was thinking about the OTAs. I started thinking about all the old stories. And I remember one of our OTAs were Deshaun Jackson, right, where him and Mike Vick obviously were always on the same page, right? But OTAs, I remember they were trying to try new things. And Mike said that, I guess one of his OGs at the time was teaching him, like, hey, don't mess around with OTAs, right? Try to get an advantage on your opponents and work on different things. And I remember we all knew the offense, myself, Macklin, Deshaun, and Vic. But it was funny because one of the offseason prior, our best year offensively, stats-wise, is they were working on so many different things on the OTAs, right? Like different signals, because everybody has their own signals, right? But then there's teams that study that, okay? When they do this, they do that, they're doing this and that. So now we were changing it, right? And it wasn't like a big change, but it's enough where now we got in different games, you would see them signals, right? Not the regular signals, the signals we worked on the OTAs. So when I'm sitting back thinking about this situation where both of your starting wide receivers are not there, what do you work on? Because the guys, the 3rd, 4th dudes, they're not going to be getting them signals. They're not going to be playing.
Not at all.
So it's like you're really wasting time. And as an owner, I guess if it was one superstar guy, I get it. But it's both of them. How do you get better? And your quarterback's already been hurting out? Yeah. That's a big issue.
And not only that, OTAs is how you get yourself in football shape.
That's true.
That's why you start off not going up against the defense. And then you start going up against the defense. And now you're trying to run around as the DB is pushing on you or whatnot. You're trying to block somebody as they rushing you, whatever it may be. You're building them muscles. I hate holding out because now these dudes holding out, there is no training like football shape. These dudes can pull tires in the middle of the street. They can do whatever they want to do. But once you get that first training camp practice, you're going to be in the ice tub because your whole body is going to be sore. If these two dudes don't show up until middle of training camp, end of training camp, don't show up for training camp, what is that going to look like for the start of the season for the Cincinnati Bengals? And they have to start fast, especially being in this division. This is, man,
It's interesting to me because Tee Higgins I get, but Jamar holding out's the one that's throwing me off.
Why?
Because Jamar's only after year 3.
Yeah, he got one more year left. Let's deal.
Plus fifth-year option, so you got 2. Like,
Man.
Jamar,
The fifth-year option ain't part of it right now. That's not part of it right now. What's actual right now, today, contract-wise, he got 1 year left in his deal. And I hate to say it, but I'm walking proof. I've never touched a year left of my deal and played. Now, when I got older, it's like, okay, let me get this. But when I'm in my prime,
but I guess 2.5 for me,
Rip
it's like
it up.
the holdout usually comes like where Ayuk is at. Ayuk was drafted the year before, I believe, Jamar Chase, maybe even 2.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Ayuk is like, okay, now you don't hold out until like it's time.
what-
It's
But hold
the
on,
big joker.
but the thing he's
you don't
doing,
play the
hold
big joker
on,
early.
see, hold on. I hear what you're saying. That's the norm, right? There's nothing about Jamar Chase that's normal.
Yep.
Everything he's been doing since he's got there, it's been amazing. It's been phenomenal. So, yo, treat me as such. I get it. The other wide receivers you talked about, yeah, you know what? They have to wait a little bit. Fifth-year options is an option. Cool. But not for me because every year I've been here, from a rookie on, I've been a beast.
And it's different, and it's different levels.
Okay.
Different
Okay,
levels.
what about CD? CD, I believe, was also the 2020 draft class. I would understand if CD was like, hey, I want to hold out. But holding out is that, like, it's that final, I'm going to kick up dust, I don't have no other option, Chris Jones. Like, I got to hold out. To me, it's a little premature.
It's different because since he stepped in the building day one, he's been
like that.
an elite,
Super Bowl rookie year.
top 5 receiver in the National
Day one.
Football
Boom.
League, right? CeeDee Lamb balled out this year, but it's been questions. Brandon Ayuk, a lot of questions before this. You know what I'm saying? So this is different levels. This dude is an all-pro receiver, one of the best. You can argue 1 or 2, but 3 or 4, whatever you want to argue. That is him.
Let's talk quickly. We all know the economics of football. You can't trust owners because owners, you got a contract, but they might play you. But in the same breath, your deal is for 4 years. You're a first-round pick. Thank God you earned it. Jamar Chase, you was a beast. Blendikoff Award winner. So really your deal is for 5 years. Now at the end of 3, if you hold out, it's like, wait a second. Justin Jefferson was drafted the year before Jamar Chase. Remember, Jamar Chase sat out his last year at LSU. He couldn't leave after 2 years. In college, you got to be there for at least 3 years. Justin Jefferson, you want to hold out? I get it. You on year 4. Like, you going on to the 5th one. But I'm like, Jamar, you holding out? Like, can't you do it next year and let T get this paper and then you go get this paper?
Man,
Break it down. I know I was never a big money guy.
I heard they are brothers, though. But they ain't blood brothers. I ain't worried about what's in your pocket. I worry about myself. And I love Tee Higgins, but he ain't Jamar Chase. Justin Jefferson, now, he's better than Jamar Chase, but it's super close. I just feel like with these contracts, right, because everybody's like, oh, well, you know, you signed for this deal, you got to abide by the contract. No. I signed this deal, but I'm nice, right? And when you nice, you go above the rules. That's how it works. I ain't going to say what coach said this, but a good coach of mine is really, really good that we all think is one of the best in the NFL. Yeah. He says, I coach all my players the same. Yeah. All the players are not the same. You do the math on that. And when I'm saying Jamar Chase, he's one of the players. He's the same, but he's not the same. Treat him as such, Acho. I heard what you said about the contract. You ain't a lawyer, but you look like one. Pay that man his money because he's worth it. Jamar Chase we talking about.
You put that on Jimmy Johnson also.
Jimmy did say that.
Everyone the same.
Now, if I told you who said it, I'd be like, he said that? So, Jimmy, let's go with Jimmy Johnson said it.
Never imagined who you could be talking about. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.